online lecture series for computer organization and architecture. Myself, Dr. Inderjit Kaur, Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. After covering the introductory part of computer organization and architecture, different types of addressing modes, different numeric number formats, fixed point numbers, floating point numbers, types of operations, arithmetic operations, logical operations that can be performed on the numbers, we will be moving on to the different types of control unit. There are basically two types of control unit, hardwired control unit and microprogrammed control unit. In this unit, we will be focusing on the different kind of instructions, the format of the instruction and how the control unit executes the instruction, that is how the instructions are being fetched, decoded and executed. The CPU, that is divided into two parts, ALU and CU. ALU and all the operations that being performed by ALU, they have been discussed in the previous lectures. So, in this we will be basically focusing on our control unit. Then after how the interrupt occurs, and after occurring of interrupt, what will be our next instruction address, that is how our PC gets changed. Then what are the RISC and CISC computers, that will be discussed in these lectures. So, starting from the instruction set architecture, we can say that it is an abstraction on the interface between the hardware and low level software. It comprises of the different instruction formats, different kind of memory addressing modes, the various operations in the instruction set, encoding the instruction sets, the data storage and the compiler's view. So, for understanding this, let us start with the instruction format. As we all know कि a program is a set of instruction. When we are saying suppose we have written an addition program and we as a user have to execute it. So, all the instructions written in that program, they will be executed in the sequential manner, starting from the first instruction till 10th instruction, 10, suppose there are n number of instructions. So, all the instructions, they will be executed sequentially unless and until there comes an interrupt, then thereafter in that case the program counter value has to get changed, means the next instruction, the next address of the instruction will not be incremented by 1 for of the previous instruction, it will be specified as the new instruction and we have to save that previous address so that we can resume back. So, the instruction, it is a command that we are giving to a computer to perform a specified task. So, we are writing the programs in high level languages, we are using C, C++, Python, whatever programming languages we are writing the program in our high level languages. Earlier we were writing the programs in assembly language. So, computer understands the only binary language. So, all the programs, they are being converted into 0 and 1s. So, that 0 and 1s, they should be defined कि this 0 has some meaning, this 0 is our address, this 0 is our opcode, this 0 is our data. So, our CU is particularly trained कि means suppose there are 16-bit instruction started from 0 to 15 for in our processor. So, first 12 bits LSB, they will be telling us the address part of the instruction, then the 12, 13, 14 bit, they will tell us the opcode, that which operation has to be performed in this instruction. Then 15th bit, it tells us the mode, means mode, it tells us which addressing mode. The addressing mode we have discussed previously, it can be direct, it can be indirect, or we may be using the registers in our programs. Then that means how I am calculating the operand or how I am calculating my effective address. Here the effective address is the address where my operand will be found. Then the operation code it specifies which operation has to be performed. Suppose I am giving 3 bits, in this case 3 bits for my opcode, that means maximum 2 ki power 3, that means 8 operations can be performed by this processor. And suppose I am giving this address as 12 bits, so that means 2 ki power 12, maximum of 2 ki power 12 addresses can be generated, and these addresses can be direct addresses, these addresses can be indirect, or we can specify use the register addresses. So address field where I will be storing my operands or my instructions. So the operands, direct or indirect memory or register address, or the mode field. So the maximum addresses, if it is having 12 bits for my address, I can have 2 ki power 12 addresses for saving them. Then this means, as I have said in the previous slide, this is my instruction format that is divided into 3 components. One is my address, another is my opcode, and third is my mode field. Mode field is optional. If I am using direct mode or indirect mode, it is already told. Then I can also say ki instruction format, it is consisting of my 2 parts, one is my address and one is my opcode. Opcode means which operation I have to perform, and where I have to perform, that is our address. And then either these 16 bits will be my instruction, or these 16 bits they will be my operand, that is binary operand, which clearly means I am storing these all the things means all the instructions and all the data, means the program and data, they are being stored in my memory. So the common memory I am using, suppose it is of the size 4096 into 16. So this 4096 into 16 means this before cross it specifies the address locations. So this means this memory has 0 to 4095 address locations for storing the programs and data. In the common memory, I will be storing, some part will be initialized for storing my programs, some component will be, some portion will be reserved for storing my data. Then for accessing these 4096 address location, I require 2 ki power 12, means 12 bits are required for storing the addresses. If I use the binary, that means 12 zeros to 12 ones will be my addressing line. Then after cross, it denotes my data part, that means don't use the 2's power here, it is a direct, that means 16 bits are required for storing my data. That means at every location I am storing 16 bit either instruction or I am storing either 16 bit data as it is shown here. So either I am using the 16 bit operand if I am using this part, or if I am accessing this part, that means I am storing 16 bit instruction, that is further divided into 2 components, address and the operation that I need to perform, that is opcode. So the simplest way to organize my computer is to have one processor register, means accumulator. Accumulator is defined one of my processor register for storing my intermediate programs. In the earlier I have used suppose 1 address instruction or 2 address instruction. In that case, as a 1 register I will be using as this accumulator. So the simplest way is to either use one accumulator and an instruction code format, that is this instruction code that is comprising of 2 parts. The first part is my operation that has to be performed, and the second part that is being told as an address. So in this, this is a part of my computer. here I am visualizing the memory of my computer. This memory is basically divided into two portions, and in the same memory I can store my OS also. When we are seeing, suppose in my C drive or D drive where I have installed my operating system, where no user can save his or her own program. So, some portion is reserved for my OS, some portion is reserved for storing my program, some portion is reserved for storing my data. So, when I am saving my program C/my documents or my name folder, so that is actually I am saving it like these address locations in my memory. Suppose we take the example how we are using the direct address and how we are using the indirect address, means the use of mode field. Let us discuss it with one problem. Consider the instruction code format consisting of 3-bit opcode, 12-bit address and a address mode bit that is designated by I. Either this I will be 0 or it is 1. So, the question is calculate the effective address for both direct addressing mode and for indirect addressing mode. Here the instruction format is given to us, that is comprising of 3 parts. First part is given to us the address, that is of 12 bits. Then the second part is comprising of opcode, that is of 3 bits, and the third part, that is of I, that will be either 0 or 1. If it is 0, then it means we are using the direct addressing mode, and if it is 1, then we are using indirect addressing mode. This 0 or 1 will change how we are calculating this address. Address means where the operand will be found. On that operand actually we need to perform this operation. As we all know ki we have studied in normal mathematics the opcode, that is the binary opcodes. We require at least 2 operators to we require at least 2 operands to perform this operation. So, the first component, first operand address will be told by this address, and the second we will be by default, if it is not told to us address 1 or address 2, then we will be taking the by it accumulator. So, that is the need of defining our processor register. So, let us take this first figure, left one. Here at 22 address location we have been given the instruction format, that is 0. That means this 0 means we are using direct addressing mode. Then opcode is given to us add. This actually will be 0, 1, 1, or the value will be somewhere from 000 to 111. Suppose it is 010, that is our CU is trained ki if it is 010, that means we need to perform the add operation. So, 0 add, and this is given to us 457. Actually this is given as hexadecimal, these are actually 12 bits as we have discussed. So, 457. So, seeing this 0, that means this is a direct addressing mode. We will come to address part. So, this will be my effective address where my operand will be found. So, I will visit this address of my memory at this 457, I will find my operand. As I know ki I have to perform the addition operation. So, the first operand I found it at address, I will write the first operand I have found at M of 457, and the second I will get it from accumulator. It is very much clear. So, as the accumulator is an processor register, so M of AC is not required. We need not to access the memory at accumulator location. Accumulator, the value of accumulator will be the operand value. So, these two values will be added and it will perform, our CPU will perform this operation. Then move on to the second part. This is at memory location 35. We are being given the instruction format 1 add 300. This 1 means we are using the indirect addressing mode. So, the way of calculating our operand will be changed now. Let us see this 1 and then the opcode is given to us is add and this is 300. This add means we need to perform addition operation. Then we will go to 300. M of 300 we will find the address where our operand will be found. So, I need to access M of 300 to get my effective address, that is M of 1350 where I will get my operand and it will be added with accumulator and I will get the result. So, if I have to calculate the effective address, in the first case the effective address will be 457 and in the second case it will be 1350, rather than 300 it will be 1350. So, it has been written here. In case of direct addressing mode, as the instruction is placed in an address 22 in the memory and we have seen that the I bit is 0. So, it is our direct address instruction. Since the opcode is add instruction and the address part is the binary equivalent of 457. So, the control finds the operand in memory at this address and it will be adding this to the contents of accumulator, and in this case our effective address will be 457. Moving on to the second part, right hand of our figure. Then here the instruction at an address 35, it has mode bit I as 1 and we will say that it is an indirect address instruction. This understanding is very much important ki what is the value of I, either it is 0 or it is 1. So, the address part is 300, the control goes to 300 to find the address of the operand. Here I was getting directly the operand and here at 300 I am finding the address of the operand. This is the basic difference. So, the address of the operand in this case it will be 1350 and the operand found at this address 1350, it will be added to the content of my AC to get the desired result. And if I say the calculation of EA, it will be defined as 1350. Then moving on to the basic computer registers and memory. As we see, this is our memory. Suppose we have taken 4096 into 16. That means there are 4096 words and each word is of 16 bits. And then there are 8 general purpose registers defined. In that 4 registers they are of 16 bit and 2 registers they are of 12 bits and remaining 2 registers they are of 8 bit each. That is, computer instructions, they are stored in consecutive memory locations and they are executed sequential manner and taking one at a time by the processor. It is not so ki all the instructions of the processor they will be executed concurrently. We are discussing ki there is one processor and that processor is executing all the instructions taking one at a time. One instruction fetch, then that instruction is decoded and then that instruction is executed. After the execution finishes for the first instruction, the second instruction is fetched, then it is decoded and then it is executed. We will discuss, to increase the performance of CPU, we will discuss the concept of pipelining in the coming lectures. So, the control reads an instruction from a specific address in the memory and it executes it. So, this type of instruction sequencing, it require a counter actually ki from where it has to get start, what will be the next value of the instruction that has to get executed and at where I am at present. So, it is required, it is told by one register and that register is known as program counter, and where I have to start, that is being told by my instruction register. So, So, the type of instruction sequencing is required, and to calculate the address of next instruction after execution of the current instruction completeness, it is done by the program counter. Then it is very necessary to provide a register in the control unit for storing the instructions, and this is done by address register, and this address register, it has 12 bits. Again, program counter, since it is an address register, so it will be comprising of 12 bits. Then we always start with instruction register, that was told in the previous slide, it was comprising of 3 fields or 2 fields. So, it is of 16 bit. This IR is basically divided into AR, OPR and I. So, sometimes we require for storing the temporary data or temporary instructions, then we require a temporary register, again it is of 16 bit. Then for storing the data, we have data register, and for storing intermediate contents we have AC. So, these 16 bit registers are IR, TR, DR and AC, and then for getting the input and for storing the output, we have input register told by INPR, and denoted by out R is my output register that can store 8 bit each. As we can see from this table, DR stands for data register and it is of 16 bit, and it holds basically the memory operand. Then the second is my AR. AR stands for address register and it is of 12 bits, and it holds the address for my memory. If I am using indirect address, then actually it will M of AR will be accessed, and if I am using direct address, then I will be accessing M of AR. Then third one AC, the AC stands for accumulator, it is of 16 bit we have seen, and it is defined as one of my processor register. Then IR stands for instruction register, it is of 16 bit and it holds the instruction code actually. This instruction code, as we have discussed, it is divided into my AR, opcode and I. Then PC, when we are starting from the first instruction that has to get executed, as this concept should be clear ki whenever an instruction wants to get executed, it requires CPU. With the help of CPU it can get executed, and when I am saying ki the instruction has to get executed, that means it has to be saved into my main memory. That is why we are always doing this main memory size and concept with these registers. So, either CPU will be accessing the data from main memory, or it will be accessing some intermediate computations from these processor registers. Then my TR, that is temporary register, and it holds the temporary data and it is of 16 bit. Then input register and output register denoted by INPR and out R, they are of 8 bits and they holds the input character or output character. This is the computer instruction format. We can see that the memory unit and my 7 registers, they are their output is directly connected to by 8 bit bus, and this bus has 3 selection lines S2, S1 and S0. Then the input to every register and memory, that is also connected to my bus, and they will the bus will place its input to the respective registers when their load input is activated. So, the output of 7 registers and memory, they are connected to the common bus we have seen in the diagram, and the output that is selected for the bus line at any given time, it is determined by the selection value of these selection lines. Suppose these selection lines have value they have placed DR, they have placed 0 1 0. What does this mean? This means DR has to place its value onto the bus, because in this DR has 3. Suppose I want to place my PC value onto the bus, that means sorry, this I have written 0 1 1, this will be 0 1 0. So, the lines from the common bus, they are connected to the input of every register and data input of my memory, and the particular register whose load input has enabled, it will receive the data from the bus during the next clock pulse transition. Then the memory receives the contents of the bus when its write input is activated. So, if we want to communicate with the memory, that means we need to place the content when its write input is activated, and the memory places a 16-bit output onto the bus when the read input is activated, and this will be activated when the selection lines have the value 111. And we can see the 4 registers DR, AC, IR and TR, they are of 16-bit. 2 registers AR and PC, we know they are address registers, they are 12 bits and they are holding the address. So, when the contents of AR or PC, they are applied to 16 bits common bus, then the 4 MSBs, they are set to 0. Then there are 3 kinds of instructions. One is our memory reference instruction, then second is our register reference instruction, and third is our input output instructions. How we divide them basically? This address, this is our instruction format, this address remains same, these are the 12 bits. This opcode will have value 0002 111. So, when this opcode has value 000 to 110, that means we are accessing the memory, that means we are having memory reference instruction. Fine. So, this can be I. So, if it is I, that means we are having direct memory reference instruction, and if this I has value 1, that means we are accessing indirectly memory reference instruction. Then now the left is 111. This 111, this is known as D7. So, if it is 0, that means we are having register reference instructions, means we are specifying the different registers, and if this is 1, that means now we are having 4 ones together, and here it will be, the address will be as to perform the input output operation. So, in this way we can specify the memory reference instruction, register reference instruction and input output reference instruction. Basically these instructions will be either functional instructions, either they will be transfer instructions, either they will be control instructions, or they will be input output instructions. So, if they are functional instructions, that means they are performing any function. That function can be arithmetic, logic or shift instructions. Then the types are add, complement, accumulator, increment, circular write, circular shift, perform and, clear the accumulator. These are the types basically, examples. Then if we are dealing with transfer instruction, that means the data transfer between main memory and processor register will occur, and the examples are load accumulator, store accumulator. Then control instructions. In this control instructions, we will be basically dealing with program sequencing and control, branch, unconditional, branch and save address. These are the kind of control instructions. Then input output instructions, input and output, basically the commands will be, examples are in INP or out. So, now